area here where you would have been a fiscal drain, and then you have all this fiscal boon, fiscal contribution, positive fiscal contribution. I don't know why the oh, but then you've got low-wage migrants. This is a problem. This is not good. But I would argue this is probably because of excessive welfare state or something. I don't think you can have citizens, especially if they're coming in at age 24, that are always a drain on you. But you can see for the average wage migrant here, like they come in here and then they, you skip all of this down period here and then you're making money here, yeah. I wonder why, oh, this is cumulative. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, because I was wondering, how are you still a positive contributor at 88 years old as a average wage migrant? But it's because they're adding up all of the cumulative effects going on. So they have to turn like 90 before they become a net drain basically on the state. So even though historically conservatives might have used the rhetoric of being anti-immigration, I think they were generally pro-immigration because it generally served, it was good for the GDP, it was good for the country, it was good for the for large corporations, it was good for small businesses, like people that hire people. Like it's just, immigration is just a free supply of labor. It's always good. More customers for your products and stuff like that, regardless of any other downstream effects. Remember, this is the UK, so the welfare thing is not as much of a problem for our migrants. Yeah, for UK and Europe, their welfare stuff is going to be a lot more than ours. So anyway, Elon is bringing up, rightfully so, that companies are super ultra hungry for workers in the United States. Really in the entire world, everybody is like very, very hungry for workers right now. I don't know if it's because of World War II and the baby boomer stuff and all that, and those people are aging out. So we've got like a lot of demand right now and not as many customers, and the population graphs are a little bit more lopsided. That Peter Zweihander dude talks about this all the time, or used to. So yeah, a lot of companies are hungry for workers. Elon is pointing this out. If you work in tech, okay, these people love H-1B visas, which is basically just like, I believe they're temporary worker visas. And the stereotype is that you basically bring in Indians to work in your, you bring in Indians to like program for you. The issue is that there are two Indians. It's kind of funny that Indians are kind of like the Mexicans, I think, of software development, to where they're simultaneously like lazy, horrible workers that can't get anything done correctly, but they're also somehow mysteriously displacing a lot of your high talent workers. I think the truth is probably that India is a massive country, and if companies are drafting Indians to come and work for your companies, they probably are pretty talented, and they probably are displacing some of your high talent worker, and it's probably not just because they can pay them less, it's probably because they do have a decent grasp on what they're doing. But yeah, so Elon and the rest of the tech world are all saying like, yeah, we need more H-1Bs, we need more workers, and obviously NAGA did not draw that crowd of people that care much about just like economic numbers. They care more about like culture and stuff like that. And so they're all fighting against Elon, and everybody's been in the trenches over this particular issue right now. It's also because they can trap them on those visas, because if they leave that job, they have to go home. I am vibing this so hard right now because I don't know any of the facts, but I would be really surprised if Indians felt like they were getting trapped in the US on H-1B visas. I feel like they're probably generally pretty happy to be here. That'd be my guess, but.
I do believe there will be a rational immigration policy eventually passed. I think there's going to have to be some time. What's interesting about our country, if you study history, is that there are some isms that occasionally pop up. One is isolationism, and its evil.
I think we've watched this before, but.
And protectionism, and its evil triplet nativism. So if you study the 20s, for example, there was an American First policy that said, who cares what happens in Europe? Well, what happened in Europe mattered eventually because of World War II. There was Smoot-Hawley, which was a part of an economic policy, which basically said we don't want trade. In other words, let's throw up barriers. And there was an immigration policy that I think during this period argued we had too many Jews and too many Italians, therefore we should have no immigrants. And my point to you is we've been through this kind of period of isolationism, protectionism, nativism. I'm a little concerned that we may be going through the same period. I hope that these isms...
It's crazy looking back, retrospective. I'm sorry, I'm never going to lose this. It's just crazy looking back that George W. Bush was like the stupid guy. Like, this is the guy who was an idiot. Everybody's like, oh my God, George W. Bush, what a dumb the way that he like he was the stupid guy. That's how everybody saw him. We had a whole thing called Bushisms, I think, right? He was the stupid guy.
States in the
He kind of was stupid though, right? I don't believe so. No, I don't know if Bush ever. I think he spoke like a Southerner, and there's like a bias sometimes in certain parts of the world about like how Southerners sound depending on what your job is. But I don't know if he was ever stupid.